this video, I'm trying to document our climb of Mount Vitosha, which is this really prominent mountain that sits right up on the edge of Sofia, the capital city of Bulgaria, a country in Southeast Europe, right above Greece, on the Black Sea. We try once and we fail miserably because it's mid-March and it's really cold, and we try again later and we actually summit. I wasn't prepared to film this video, but I think the story is cool nonetheless, so I'm going to share it with you. That's why there's a lot of pictures in the video, a lot of stills, but I'll be narrating over them, and hopefully it's an interesting and cool experience. It's one of our first adventures.
To get to Vitosha, we took a cab from our apartment downtown to as near as it would take us to the mountain in the foothill district of Dragolepsy. From there, it's about a 7-mile hike up to the summit. The first part of this hike is a steep trail, winding its way up through various forests in between downhill biking tracks and lift lines. The second part, although on less of an incline, can be quite challenging. It's completely exposed on ridges and plateaus leading to one of Europe's windiest peaks. We were taking in the Eastern European architecture, newly polished between the graffiti of self-expression and individualism, in a wonderfully pedestrian city of hand-laid cobblestone streets and old communist monuments left to crumble. Among renewed palaces of acceptable culture and ancient relics signaling centuries of human activity, Vitosha was always present, beckoning us to climb and learn of its perspective. And climb we did. In stolid alpine forests of melting snow, we came across some wild dogs who preferred foraging on the mountain to the unpredictabilities of the city streets below. They came and they went as we kept on going, in knee-high snow, making it out of the forest and onto the plateau. There, peculiar cloud formations foreshadowed what was waiting on our path towards the summit. The winds picked up to over 60 miles per hour, but even at temperatures well below freezing, our windbreakers, layers, and willpower kept us moving. At the last ridge, where 2 kilometers remained, the problem came from ice, swept up by these gale-force winds lashing at our faces, and we had to turn back. Heading back down, we enjoyed the adventure, getting home safely through magical forests and a lot of cold. In the next few days, we replenished our bodies with local fare and walked around rainy city streets. We experienced a land of newfound traditions and ancient churches and cathedrals, nestled between streets lined with old trees, bookstands, and cafes. Among the old history and traditions, the Western economic model of constant growth, newly adopted, had people rushing between the stores and restaurants. From dawn to sunset, life was buzzing on the tireless, efficient city trams. As the spring rain slowly yielded to sunshine, the city's vast parks and gardens, filled with rich soil and dense vegetation, began to bud and bloom, building an overflowing canopy of green that filtered the air and provided shade for the summer ahead. Clear skies became the trend, flowers bloomed, and people began to fill the city benches. Amongst the frolic of spring, turning into summer, a stoic giant lingered, always present, always reminding us of where we haven't been.
I think we're right here, and we take the red up, and then across and up, and I think Cherni Vrah is here, right?
Because I think we should have hit the first lift station by now.
pants up. Come on.
These are swimming trunks.
The top of lift 1. But we didn't take any lift.
Oh, very cute.
It's cold.
So that's good.
Come on, Slowpoke.
It's awesome up here. It feels so liberating to be out of the forest all of a sudden.
And liberating it was, but also very windy. So I'm stepping in to cut off Alex's live narration as he explains that we are between the two peaks of Cherni Vrah, which is lowest but looks highest from the city, and Goliam Razam. The 8-foot pole signaled the last 2.5 kilometers to the summit of Cherni Vrah. This time, the snow was wet and low enough as to not be picked up by the 40-mile-per-hour winds of the day. The tips of large river stones poke up through thick moss and alpine shrubs. Between them, underneath this canopy which we step upon, water flows, as they compose a huge water catchment area that supplies Sofia and neighboring villages with fresh, naturally purified, crystal-clear drinking water. Alex was enthralled by this budding gentle ecosystem, and our last battery ran out. We climbed on, and the plateau became a distant sight below. In knee-high snow, we marched onward towards the sky. Exhausted in the thin cold air and heavy slipping snow, we made it to the top. There, the Rila Mountains stood in full attendance, acknowledging our efforts while reminding us that they loom taller still towards the kingdom of heaven and the stars. We looked out onto the lands around us, took a quick and tired selfie, and began our long descent towards the bustling streets where men and women dwell. On our way, night began to fall, and the lights of life invited us back into the city. Tired in the empty midnight city streets, we got a cab and made our way back home.